Letting go. The phrase itself is gentle, like an exhale. It sounds simple, effortless, like opening your hand and letting a feather be carried away by the wind. But in the quiet theater of our own hearts, we know the truth. Letting go is rarely a soft release. More often, it is a struggle, a wrestling match with memory, identity, and fear. It can feel like losing a part of ourselves, an amputation of the soul. We are told to move on from the relationship that broke our heart, but we find ourselves replaying conversations in the dead of night. We are advised to forgive the mistake that cost us dearly, but the ghost of that failure still dictates our choices. We try to release the person we once were, but their shadow clings to us, a constant reminder of a life that is no longer ours. This act of holding on, of clenching our fists around what is already gone, is one of the most profoundly human, and most painful, experiences we can endure. But here lies a truth, a secret known to the ancients, a key that can unlock the chains we have wrapped around ourselves. The suffering is not in the letting go. The suffering is in the holding on. The pain does not come from the emptiness of our open hand, but from the strain of our clenched fist. For centuries, a school of philosophy has existed that does not just acknowledge this struggle but provides a profound and practical toolkit to overcome it. This is the world of Stoicism. Forged not in quiet libraries but in the unforgiving arenas of Roman life, its teachers were not just thinkers, they were emperors, slaves, playwrights, and generals. Marcus Aurelius, the most powerful man in the world, wrote his private thoughts on how to let go of anger and fear while leading armies on a cold and distant frontier. Seneca, a wealthy statesman, contemplated how to release his attachment to fortune while facing exile and, eventually, his own death sentence. Epictetus, born a slave, taught that true freedom is not the absence of chains on the body, but the absence of chains on the mind. These were not men who had easy lives. They were men who understood that life is inherently difficult, unpredictable, and often painful. And because of this, they dedicated themselves to mastering the one thing they knew they could control, their inner world. They taught that learning to let go isn't about forgetting or becoming numb. It is the ultimate act of reclaiming your power. It is about freeing yourself from the emotional prisons that keep you stuck, small, and suffering. In this journey together, we will explore this art. We will delve into 12 foundational lessons, blending the timeless wisdom of Stoic philosophy with the insights of modern psychology. This is not a superficial list of tips. This is a deep, immersive guide to changing your relationship with your past, your present, and your future. You will learn the true power of detachment, the clarity that comes from stepping back, and the courage it takes to set the boundaries that will protect your peace. Letting go does not mean giving up. It means making space. Space for healing, for growth, for new love, for a new purpose. It means choosing to no longer be defined by your wounds but by the wisdom you have gained from them. By letting go, you do not lose control, you gain the freedom to focus on what truly matters, to build a life not on the ruins of your past, but on the solid ground of the present moment. If you are ready, truly ready, to begin this work, then let us walk this path together. Let us begin. Lesson 1: Unlocking the Power of Detachment. When most people hear the word detachment, they imagine a cold and distant figure, someone who is apathetic, indifferent, who feels little and cares less. We picture a withdrawal from the vibrancy of life, a retreat into a gray, emotionless void. But this is a profound misunderstanding of one of the most powerful concepts in Stoic thought. True Stoic detachment is not about removing emotion, it is about freeing yourself from the tyranny of outcomes you cannot control. It is the art of maintaining your inner peace, your apatheia, regardless of the storms raging around you. Our attachments are often the hidden source of our deepest anxieties. We become attached not just to people and possessions, but to expectations, identities, and desired futures. Our happiness becomes conditional. I will be happy when I get the promotion, I will be at peace if they love me back, my life will be complete once I achieve this goal. We tie our internal state to external variables, making ourselves prisoners of fortune. When those external factors change, and they inevitably do, our world shatters. The promotion goes to someone else, the love is not returned, the goal remains out of reach. And we suffer. The Stoics recognize this flaw in human psychology with piercing clarity. Epictetus, in his Enchiridion, laid down the foundational principle known as the dichotomy of control: some things are within our power, while others are not. Within our power are opinion, motivation, desire, aversion, and, in a word, whatever is of our own doing. Not within our power are body, property, reputation, office, and, in a word, whatever is not of our own doing. This is not a call to inaction. It is a strategic directive for the mind. It asks us to perform a kind of mental triage, sorting our concerns into two distinct piles. In one pile are the things we can directly influence: our judgments, our efforts, our character, our responses. In the other are the things we cannot: the economy, the weather, other people's opinions, and the ultimate outcome of our efforts. The Stoic path is to pour our entire energy into the first pile and to cultivate a serene acceptance of the second. Imagine holding a handful of sand. If you clench your fist, desperately trying to keep every grain, the sand slips through your fingers until there is almost nothing left. But if you hold your hand open, relaxed and gentle, the sand rests peacefully in your palm. This is the essence of detachment. It is not about pushing things away, it is about holding them lightly, appreciating them while they are here, but not allowing our inner stability to be defined by their presence or absence. To begin unlocking this power in your own life, you must first become an honest detective of your own attachments. Take a few moments today with a journal, or simply in quiet reflection, and ask yourself a series of searching questions. What am I clinging to so tightly that it is causing me stress or anxiety? Be specific. Is it a person's approval? A specific career outcome? A memory of who you used to be? What do I fear will happen if I loosen my grip? Our attachments are almost always rooted in fear: fear of loss, fear of loneliness, fear of failure, fear of the unknown. Naming the fear is the first step to disarming it. What is the true cost of this attachment? How much mental energy, emotional turmoil, and precious time are you sacrificing by holding on so tightly? Once you have identified an attachment, practice a mental release. Visualize the person, the situation, or the outcome. Acknowledge the love or desire you have for it. And then, in your mind's eye, gently open your hand. Say to yourself, I can pour my effort into this, I can act with virtue and intention, but I release my demand for a specific outcome. I accept that what will be, will be. This is not easy. It is a muscle that must be trained. Seneca, who experienced both immense wealth and devastating exile, wrote extensively about the fickle nature of fortune. He advised that we should treat our possessions and relationships as if they are on loan from the universe. We can enjoy them, care for them, and cherish them, but we must always be prepared to give them back without complaint when the time comes. This mindset does not diminish our love, it purifies it. It allows us to love more freely, without the desperate neediness that comes from possessiveness. When you practice detachment, you are not giving up. You are strategically choosing where to place your power. You stop wrestling with the wind and start adjusting your sails. You discover that your true home is not in any person, place, or achievement, but within the unshakable fortress of your own mind. In that fortress, you are always safe, always free, no matter what happens in the world outside. Lesson 2: Stepping back for mental clarity. When life feels overwhelming, when your emotions are a tangled knot and your mind is a fog of confusion, the most common instinct is to push forward, to do something, anything, to fix the situation. We react impulsively, make rash decisions, and often let our heightened emotions take the lead. In these moments, one of the most powerful and counterintuitive actions you can take is to do nothing at all. To simply step back. Stepping back is not an act of avoidance or surrender. It is a strategic retreat to higher ground. It is the deliberate creation of space between an emotional stimulus and your response, and in that sacred space lies the power to regain mental clarity. When you are caught in the heat of a difficult moment, an argument, a sudden setback, a wave of anxiety, your perspective narrows. The problem in front of you can feel all-consuming, your emotions distorted and amplified. It is as if you are a painter standing with your nose pressed against the canvas. All you can see are chaotic brushstrokes and messy imperfections. You lose sight of the masterpiece. To truly understand the painting, you must take a few steps back. Only then do the individual strokes merge into a coherent image. The same principle applies to your mind. By creating mental and emotional distance, you allow the intensity of the moment to subside, and your rational mind to come back online. You begin to see the situation not through the distorted lens of immediate emotion, but for what it truly is. Marcus Aurelius was a master of this practice. As an emperor dealing with constant political intrigue, betrayal, and the pressures of war, he could not afford to be ruled by impulsive reactions. In his meditations, he frequently coached himself to break things down into their objective components, stripping them of the dramatic and emotional labels we tend to attach. If he was feeling anxious about a future event, he would deconstruct it. What is this thing, in and of itself? What are its parts? What is the worst that can truly happen? By analyzing a situation with cold, objective clarity, he could let go of the imagined horrors and deal only with the reality in front of him. You can apply this same technique. The next time you feel overwhelmed, find a quiet space and perform a mental step back. Name the emotion. First, acknowledge what you are feeling without judgment. I am feeling anger. This is fear. Naming the emotion separates you from it. You are not anger, you are the person experiencing anger. This small shift creates the initial sliver of space. Breathe, take 3 slow, deliberate breaths. Inhale deeply through your nose, hold for a count of 4, and exhale slowly through your mouth. This simple act engages the parasympathetic nervous system, signaling to your body and mind that it is safe to calm down. Journal from a third-person perspective. A powerful method for creating distance is to write about the situation as if you were an outside observer. Instead of, I am so upset because, try writing, your name is feeling upset because. This narrative shift forces you to look at the situation with more objectivity, as if you were giving advice to a friend. Practice the view from above. This is a classic Stoic meditation. Close your eyes and imagine yourself floating up, out of your current location. See yourself, a small figure in a room. Float higher, seeing your building, your neighborhood, your city. Continue rising until you see your country, the continent, and finally, the entire earth, a beautiful, silent sphere suspended in the vastness of space. From this cosmic perspective, ask yourself, how significant is this problem that is consuming me? In the grand scheme of things, will this matter in a day? A year? A decade? This exercise doesn't diminish the validity of your feelings, but it puts them into a much larger context, often shrinking the problem down to a manageable size. Stepping back is a discipline. It requires you to resist the urgent, primal scream of your emotions that demands immediate action. But with practice, that pause becomes your greatest ally. You learn that not every situation requires an instant response. You discover that often, the wisest action comes after a period of calm reflection. When you master the art of stepping back, you are no longer a slave to circumstance. You are the calm center of your own universe, capable of navigating life's storms not with panicked reactivity, but with thoughtful, intentional clarity. You take control of your mind, refusing to let external chaos dictate your internal state. And in that control, you find a profound and enduring strength. Lesson 3: Deciding when to distance yourself. One of the most courageous and difficult decisions we face in life is knowing when to distance ourselves from people or situations that consistently drain our spirit. Whether it is a toxic friendship, a soul-crushing job, or a family dynamic that leaves you feeling diminished, holding on out of guilt, obligation, or fear can be a slow poison to your well-being. Knowing when and how to create that distance is a vital skill for protecting your inner peace. The first step in this delicate process is honest self-awareness. We must learn to distinguish between the temporary discomfort that comes with healthy growth and the persistent, corrosive negativity that holds us back. A relationship that challenges you to be better might feel difficult at times, but it ultimately fosters growth. A relationship that consistently leaves you feeling anxious, unappreciated, or emotionally exhausted is a different matter entirely. Ask yourself these clarifying questions. How do I feel after interacting with this person or being in this situation? Pay attention to the emotional residue. Do you feel uplifted and energized, or do you feel depleted, resentful, and heavy? Your emotional response is a powerful compass pointing you toward the truth. Does this relationship or situation align with my core values? If you value honesty, but are in a friendship built on gossip and negativity, there is a fundamental misalignment. If you value peace, but your work environment is rife with conflict and drama, you are living in opposition to what you hold dear. Am I staying out of genuine desire or out of guilt and obligation? Many of us are conditioned to be people pleasers, and the thought of disappointing someone by creating distance can be paralyzing. But the Stoics teach us that we cannot control how others feel or react, we can only control our own choices. Protecting your well-being is not selfish, it is a fundamental responsibility. The Roman philosopher Seneca wisely advised on the importance of choosing our company carefully, warning that we absorb the qualities of those we spend the most time with. He understood the concept of emotional contagion, the idea that emotions can spread from person to person like a virus. If you are constantly surrounded by negativity, cynicism, and drama, it becomes incredibly difficult to maintain your own positivity and peace. Once you have decided that distance is necessary, the next step is to determine how to create it. It does not always require a dramatic confrontation or a complete severing of ties. Often, the most effective approach is a quiet and gradual one. The gradual fade, this involves slowly reducing the frequency and intensity of your interactions. You might reply to texts more slowly, decline some invitations, or keep conversations shorter and more superficial. This approach allows the dynamic to shift naturally without causing unnecessary drama or conflict. Setting firm boundaries, in some cases, a more direct approach is needed. This is not about blaming or attacking the other person. It is about clearly and calmly stating your needs. You might say, I value our friendship, but I am no longer available for conversations that are centered on complaining. I'd love to talk about other things when we connect. This is not an ultimatum, it is a clear boundary that protects your energy. The trial separation, if you are uncertain, consider a temporary break. Give yourself a set period, a week, a month, with no contact. During this time, pay close attention to how you feel. Do you feel a sense of relief and lightness? Or do you genuinely miss the connection? This trial period can provide the clarity you need to make a more permanent decision. Remember, creating distance is an act of self-respect. You are acknowledging that your peace, your energy, and your growth are valuable and worth protecting. It can be a lonely and difficult choice, especially when it involves people you have known for a long time. You may be judged or misunderstood. But your commitment must be to your own well-being first. As Epictetus reminded his students, you are the steward of your own mind. You have the power, and the responsibility, to decide what you allow into your inner world. Life is too short to be spent in environments that suffocate your spirit. By learning to recognize when a situation is no longer serving you and having the courage to create the distance you need, you are not ending something, you are beginning something new. You are making room for healthier relationships, better opportunities, and a life that is in true alignment with the person you are meant to be. Lesson 4. Building trust through meaningful conversations. In the quiet solitude of our own minds, problems can grow to monstrous proportions. A fear, a worry, a difficult decision, left to its own devices, the mind can spin these into an inescapable web of anxiety. One of the most powerful ways to find clarity, to untangle these knots, is to bring them into the light through meaningful conversation. Human connection is not just a source of comfort, it is a profound tool for insight, growth, and emotional healing. Talking through our struggles with a trusted individual can feel like opening a window in a stuffy room. The very act of articulating our thoughts forces us to organize them, to give them structure and coherence. What was once a chaotic swirl of emotion begins to take shape as a definable problem. And once a problem is defined, it is already halfway to being solved. But here is the crucial distinction: not all conversation is created equal. Surface-level small talk, gossip, or exchanges filled with judgment do not build trust or foster clarity. Meaningful conversation is built on a foundation of safety, vulnerability, and mutual respect. It is a space where you can share your truth without fear of being misunderstood, criticized, or dismissed. The Stoics, contrary to their popular image as solitary and unemotional figures, deeply valued the role of the philosophical friend. Seneca's letters to his friend Lucilius are a testament to this, filled with shared reflections, honest advice, and mutual encouragement. The Stoics understood that we cannot see ourselves clearly without a mirror, and a trusted friend can serve as that mirror, reflecting back to us a perspective we are too close to see on our own. To cultivate such conversations in your life, you must be both a courageous speaker and a compassionate listener. When sharing, choose your confidant wisely. Not everyone has earned the right to hear your story. Share your vulnerabilities with those who have demonstrated their trustworthiness, their discretion, and their capacity for empathy. Be clear about what you need. When initiating a conversation, it can be helpful to state your intention. You might say, "I'm struggling with something and I'm not looking for advice right now, I just need someone to listen." Or, "I'm feeling stuck on a decision and I would really value your perspective." This sets the stage for a more productive exchange. Embrace vulnerability. True connection happens when we are willing to be seen, imperfections and all. Sharing your fears and uncertainties is not a sign of weakness, it is an act of profound strength and a direct invitation for trust. When listening, listen to understand, not to reply. The goal of a meaningful conversation is not to win a debate or to offer the perfect solution. It is to make the other person feel heard. Put away distractions, make eye contact, and be fully present. Validate, don't judge. Before offering any perspective, validate the other person's feelings. Simple phrases like, "That sounds incredibly difficult," or "I can understand why you would feel that way," create a powerful sense of safety and acceptance. Ask open-ended questions. Instead of jumping in with advice, guide the person to their own insights by asking thoughtful questions. What is the hardest part of this for you? What do you think is holding you back? What would a positive outcome look like? If you feel you lack such a trusted individual in your life, do not despair. Trust is not found, it is built, one conversation at a time. Start small. Identify someone in your life who exhibits qualities of a good listener and take a small step toward vulnerability. Share a minor struggle and observe how they respond. If they meet you with empathy and respect, it is a sign that a deeper connection is possible. Furthermore, remember that building trust is a two-way street. To have a trusted friend, you must also be a trusted friend. Practice being the person you would want to confide in. Be present, be empathetic, and hold the stories of others with the care and respect they deserve. In a world that often feels isolating, the courage to engage in deep, meaningful conversation is a revolutionary act. It is a declaration that we are not meant to navigate our struggles alone. By building these bridges of trust, we not only find the clarity and emotional relief we seek but also weave a network of connection and strength that can sustain us through all of life's inevitable uncertainties. Lesson 5: Mastering Emotional Boundaries. Have you ever walked away from a conversation feeling utterly drained, as if you have just run a marathon? Have you found yourself carrying the weight of someone else's anxiety, anger, or sadness long after they have gone? If so, you have experienced the consequences of porous emotional boundaries. Emotional boundaries are the invisible, psychological lines that separate your emotions and responsibilities from those of others. They are not walls that shut people out, they are healthy fences that protect your inner world. Without them, it is easy to become a sponge for the emotional states of those around you, losing your own sense of self and sacrificing your peace of mind in the process. Mastering emotional boundaries is a critical skill for letting go, because it teaches you to release responsibility for things that were never yours to carry in the first place. It is about learning to be compassionate and supportive without becoming a casualty of someone else's chaos. The Stoic philosophy provides a powerful framework for this. Epictetus taught his students to constantly ask of any difficult situation, is this within my control, or outside of it? This principle applies perfectly to the emotions of others. You cannot control how another person feels, why they feel that way, or how they choose to act on their feelings. What you can control is how much of their emotional state you allow to permeate your own. The first step in mastering your boundaries is awareness. You must learn to recognize when you are taking on emotions that are not yours. This often manifests in a few key ways. Feeling responsible for others' happiness. Do you feel that it is your job to fix someone's problems or to cheer them up when they are down? While kindness is a virtue, you are not responsible for managing another person's emotional state. Difficulty saying no. Do you agree to requests that drain your time and energy because you are afraid of disappointing someone or being seen as selfish? Absorbing moods. Does your mood plummet simply by being in the same room as someone who is negative or upset? Once you become aware of these patterns, you can begin to practice setting and maintaining boundaries through assertive communication. This is not about being aggressive or confrontational. It is about stating your needs and limits with clarity, calmness, and respect. Here are some practical examples. If a friend constantly unloads their problems on you without asking how you are, you could say, I really want to be here for you, and I can listen for about 20 minutes. After that, I need to shift my focus to my own tasks for the day. This honors their need to be heard while also respecting your own time and energy. If a family member tries to guilt you into a decision, you can respond with, I understand that you see it differently, and I respect your opinion. However, I need to make the choice that feels right for me. This acknowledges their perspective without sacrificing your autonomy. If you find yourself getting drawn into a negative conversation, you have the right to disengage. You can say, I'm not comfortable talking about this anymore. Can we change the subject? Another powerful tool is visualization. Before entering a potentially draining situation, take a moment to visualize a protective barrier of light around you. Imagine that this barrier is permeable to love and positivity but deflects negativity, anxiety, and emotional weight that is not yours. This is not a mystical act. It is a psychological tool to prime your mind to maintain its own state, reinforcing the idea that you can be empathetic without being absorbent. Ask yourself this crucial question, am I sacrificing my emotional well-being to appear supportive? True support does not require self-annihilation. In fact, when you are emotionally depleted, you have very little of value to offer anyone. By protecting your energy, you ensure that when you do choose to give, you are giving from a place of fullness, not from an empty well. Remember, setting boundaries is an act of profound self-respect and self-care. It allows you to show up more fully and authentically in your relationships because you are not operating from a place of resentment or exhaustion. You can be a kind, empathetic, and supportive person while still holding firm to the truth that your peace of mind is your own sacred ground. When you master your emotional boundaries, you let go of the immense burden of other people's emotional lives, allowing you to live with greater clarity, balance, and unwavering inner strength. Lesson 6. Weighing the outcomes of separation. There are moments in life when we arrive at a difficult crossroads. A relationship, a job, a friendship, or even a city we once loved now feels like a cage. The thought of leaving, of creating a separation, is both terrifying and tantalizing. Making such a life-altering decision is not something to be done lightly. It requires courage, honesty, and a clear-eyed assessment of the potential consequences. Weighing the outcomes of separation is a crucial Stoic practice that ensures our choices are born not from impulsive emotion, but from deep, rational wisdom. The goal is not to escape all discomfort, for growth and discomfort often go hand in hand. The goal is to consciously choose the path that leads to long-term well-being, virtue, and peace of mind, even if it involves short-term pain. The Stoics were masters of intentional decision-making. Before embarking on a significant course of action, they would engage in a process of reflection, considering whether a decision aligned with their core values and the ultimate goal of living a good life. The philosopher Seneca, in his letters, often wrote about the need to examine our fears, reminding us that we suffer more often in imagination than in reality. Much of the anxiety surrounding a potential separation is rooted in imagined, catastrophic scenarios. I'll be alone forever, I'll never find another job, my life will be over. By systematically weighing the real, probable outcomes instead of succumbing to these hypothetical fears, we can make a more grounded and courageous choice. Here is a structured approach to weighing the outcomes, inspired by Stoic principles. 1. The honest inventory of the present. Before you can contemplate the future, you must be brutally honest about the present. On a piece of paper or in a journal, create 2 columns. The cost of staying, in this column, list the specific, tangible costs of remaining in the current situation. Be unflinchingly honest. Does it cost you your peace of mind? Your physical health? Your self-respect? Your opportunities for growth? Your alignment with your values? Write it all down. Staying in this job means I feel anxious every Sunday night. Continuing this friendship involves constant emotional labor and feeling unseen. The benefits of staying, in the second column, list the genuine benefits. Perhaps it provides financial security, comfort, familiarity, or social connection. Acknowledging the good parts is just as important as acknowledging the bad. It ensures your decision is balanced, not reactive. 2. The premeditation of the future, premeditatio malorum. Now, turn your attention to the act of separation itself. This is where the classic Stoic practice of premeditatio malorum, or the premeditation of evils, becomes an invaluable tool. Visualize the worst-case scenario. Imagine you make the decision to leave. What is the absolute worst that could happen? Do not shy away from it. Envision it in detail. You leave the relationship and feel profoundly lonely. You quit the job and struggle to find another one for months. By confronting the worst possible outcome head-on, you do 2 things. First, you often realize that even the worst is survivable. Second, it strips the fear of its power over you. The unknown is always more terrifying than a known, albeit difficult, reality. Plan your response. For each element of your worst-case scenario, ask yourself, how would I cope? What resources could I draw upon? What steps could I take to mitigate this? This turns you from a passive victim of fear into a proactive strategist. If I feel lonely, I will reach out to these 3 friends and join a new community group. If I struggle financially, I have this amount in savings and can take on this freelance work. 3. Envision the best-case scenario. Finally, allow yourself to envision the positive outcomes of separation. The gains of leaving. What would you gain by creating this distance? More peace. The freedom to pursue a new passion. The opportunity to build healthier relationships. A renewed sense of self-worth. Let yourself feel the hope and possibility in this vision. This is not idle daydreaming, it is the clarification of your why, the purpose that will fuel you through the difficult transition. After completing this comprehensive reflection, you will have moved beyond the realm of vague emotion and into the world of clarity. The decision may still be difficult, but it will no longer be clouded by unexamined fear. Remember, weighing the outcomes is not about finding a perfect, painless solution. Life rarely offers those. It is about choosing your path with intention and courage. It is about taking ownership of your life and refusing to remain stuck in a situation that compromises your well-being. Letting go can be one of the hardest things you ever do, but by carefully and rationally weighing the consequences, you ensure that your choice is an act of strength, wisdom, and profound self-respect. Lesson 7: Detoxing from social media. In the modern world, our minds are under constant siege. Not by armies or physical threats, but by an endless barrage of digital noise. Pings, notifications, likes, shares, and infinite scrolls, social media has become the great colonizer of our attention. While it promises connection and information, it often delivers distraction, comparison, and a subtle but pervasive sense of inadequacy. A digital detox, in this context, is not a radical rejection of technology, it is a necessary act of mental hygiene, a Stoic practice of reclaiming your focus for what truly matters. The problem with excessive social media use is that it fundamentally rewires our brains. Each notification delivers a small, unpredictable reward of dopamine, the same neurochemical involved in addiction. This conditions us to seek constant external stimulation, making moments of quiet, uninterrupted thought feel boring or even uncomfortable. Yet, it is in those very moments of stillness that deep thinking, creativity, and self-awareness are born. Stoicism places immense value on prosoche, the practice of maintaining a vigilant, moment-to-moment attention on one's inner world of thoughts, judgments, and actions. It is about being the gatekeeper of your own mind. Social media, by its very design, is an assault on prosoche. It pulls your attention outward, scattering it across 1,000 trivialities and leaving little room for introspection. Marcus Aurelius, in a world without smartphones, wrote, "You must reclaim yourself for yourself. Focus on a few that matter and let the rest go." This ancient advice has never been more relevant. A social media detox is a powerful way to reclaim yourself. It is about consciously choosing to let go of the digital clutter so you can refocus on the few things that genuinely add value to your life. A detox can take many forms, from a complete 24-hour break to a more sustained, mindful reduction in use. The goal is not to abandon the tool altogether, but to move from being a passive consumer to an intentional user. Here is a practical guide to your own digital detox. Start with an audit. For 1 or 2 days, simply observe your social media habits without judgment. When do you reach for your phone? Is it out of boredom, stress, or habit? Which platforms and accounts leave you feeling drained or anxious? This awareness is the first step toward change. Curate your digital environment. Just as Seneca advised curating your physical company, you must curate your digital company. Unfollow accounts that trigger comparison, envy, or anger. Mute conversations that are nothing but drama. Instead, fill your feed with content that inspires, educates, and uplifts you. Your digital space should be a source of nourishment, not poison. Set clear boundaries. The digital sundown designates specific times and places where social media is off limits. A powerful practice is the digital sundown, no screens for at least an hour before bed. The blue light from screens disrupts melatonin production, harming your sleep, and the content you consume can fill your mind with anxiety right before you need to rest. Similarly, make mealtimes and the first hour of your morning screen-free zones. This carves out sacred time for presence and reflection. The 24-hour reset, once a week or once a month, commit to a full 24-hour break from all social media. This can feel daunting at first, but the effects are often profound. Use this reclaimed time to engage in offline activities, take a walk in nature, read a physical book, have a deep conversation with a loved one, or simply sit in silence. At the end of the 24 hours, reflect on how you feel. More present. Less anxious. More focused. This experience will motivate you to maintain healthier boundaries moving forward. Ask yourself this honest question: am I using social media, or is it using me? If you find that it is consuming more of your time, attention, and peace than you are consciously choosing to give it, it is time to take back control. Detoxing from social media is not about isolation, it is about reconnection. It is about letting go of the shallow, performative world of highlight reels and reconnecting with the depth and reality of your own life. When you reduce the digital noise, you create the quiet space necessary to hear your own thoughts, to be present with the people you love, and to focus your precious energy on the goals and values that make your life meaningful. You reclaim your mind, and in doing so, you reclaim your life. Lesson 8: Prioritizing your core needs. In the relentless rush of modern life, we are often celebrated for our productivity, our achievements, and our ability to juggle countless responsibilities. We wear our busyness like a badge of honor. But in this race to do more, we frequently neglect the very foundation of our well-being, our core needs. These are the essential, non-negotiable elements that nourish our minds, bodies, and spirits. Prioritizing them is not an act of selfish indulgence, it is the most fundamental act of self-respect and the bedrock of a balanced, fulfilling life. Many people confuse their wants with their needs. Wants are often fleeting desires driven by external validation or temporary pleasure, a new gadget, a promotion, social applause. Core needs, on the other hand, are the deep, internal requirements for our thriving. These often include physical needs, adequate sleep, nutritious food, and regular movement. Emotional needs, a sense of safety, connection with others, and the freedom for authentic self-expression. Mental needs, time for quiet reflection, intellectual stimulation, and creative outlets. Spiritual needs, a connection to something larger than oneself, whether that is nature, community, or a sense of purpose. The Stoic philosophy centers on the idea of living in accordance with nature. This doesn't mean retreating to the wilderness, it means living in alignment with our nature as rational, social, and finite beings. This inherently includes tending to our fundamental needs. To neglect your need for rest in the pursuit of success is to live out of alignment with your physical nature. To ignore your need for genuine connection in a chase for superficial validation is to violate your social nature. If you do not prioritize your core needs, no one else will. The world will always demand more from you than you can give. It is your responsibility to draw the line, to say no to the superfluous so you can say yes to the essential. To begin this practice, you must first identify what your core needs truly are. This requires a period of honest self-reflection. The core needs audit. Take some time with a journal and create 4 sections: mind, body, spirit, and relationships. Under each heading, brainstorm what truly nourishes you. Mind, does your mind need more silence and less noise? Does it crave learning and new ideas? Does it need an outlet for creativity, like writing, painting, or music? Body, how many hours of sleep does your body genuinely need to feel rested? What kinds of food make you feel energized versus sluggish? What type of movement brings you joy? Spirit, what gives you a sense of meaning and purpose? Is it spending time in nature? Engaging in service to others? Connecting with your community? Relationships, what kind of social connection do you need? Deep one-on-one conversations? The energy of a group? Time with family? Once you have this list, compare it to how you actually spend your time. Where are the largest gaps? This is not an exercise in self-criticism, it is a diagnostic tool. It shows you where you need to begin reinvesting your energy. Now, take one need from your list that is being severely neglected. Your task is not to overhaul your entire life overnight. It is to take one small, concrete action this week to honor that need. If your need is for rest, your action might be to go to bed 30 minutes earlier 3 nights this week. If your need is for creativity, your action might be to set aside 1 hour on Saturday morning for your personal project. No excuses. Ask yourself, am I living my life in a way that honors my deepest needs, or am I constantly sacrificing them for external demands? If it is the latter, remember that no achievement can compensate for a life lived in a state of depletion. The Stoics understood that a well-cared-for body and a tranquil mind are not the goals of life, but they are the necessary conditions for living a virtuous and effective one. You cannot pour from an empty cup. Prioritizing your needs often means letting go of the guilt associated with taking time for yourself. We are often conditioned to believe that self-care is a luxury, something to be earned after all our work is done. But this is a dangerous fallacy. Self-care is the fuel. It is what allows you to fulfill your responsibilities with resilience, presence, and grace, rather than with resentment and exhaustion. When you begin to consistently and unapologetically prioritize your core needs, you are sending a powerful message to yourself and to the world: I am worthy of my own care. This simple, profound shift is the foundation upon which a life of genuine strength, peace, and fulfillment is built. Lesson 9: Embracing gratitude and the present moment. In a world that is perpetually focused on the next thing, the next goal, the next purchase, the next achievement, it is dangerously easy to live in a state of constant striving. We find ourselves trapped on a hedonic treadmill, believing that happiness is always just around the corner, just one more success away. This relentless forward focus often leads to a subtle but profound dissatisfaction with the present. We overlook the good that is already in our lives because our gaze is fixed on what is missing. There is a simple, yet transformative, antidote to this modern malaise: the practice of gratitude and the art of living in the present moment. When you learn to embrace gratitude, you shift your entire perspective from a mindset of lack to one of abundance. And when you anchor yourself in the present, you let go of the anxieties of the future and the regrets of the past, and you discover that peace is available to you right here, right now. Gratitude, in the Stoic sense, is not a naive or Pollyanna-ish denial of life's difficulties. It is a rational and disciplined practice of recognizing the good that exists even amidst the challenges. It is about appreciating what you have, rather than grieving for what you do not. Seneca put it beautifully when he wrote, "True happiness is to enjoy the present, without anxious dependence upon the future." The Stoics knew that our minds have a natural negativity bias. We are wired to notice threats and problems. Therefore, gratitude must be an active, conscious choice. It is a muscle that we must intentionally exercise every day. A powerful way to cultivate this is through a daily gratitude practice. The morning reflection: upon waking, before your mind is captured by the day's to-do list, take just 2 minutes to reflect on 3 things you are grateful for. They do not need to be monumental. Perhaps it is the warmth of your bed, the taste of your morning coffee, or simply the gift of another day of life. This practice sets a tone of appreciation that can carry you through the day. The evening review: before you go to sleep, review your day and identify 3 specific things that went well or that you can be thankful for. This trains your mind to scan for the positive, counteracting its natural tendency to dwell on the negative. Embracing the present moment is the other side of this coin. Our minds are often time travelers, either ruminating on past mistakes or anxiously rehearsing future scenarios. Both of these activities rob us of the only time that is truly real, the now. Marcus Aurelius constantly reminded himself in his meditations, "Do not dwell on the past or dream of the future, but concentrate the mind on the present moment." To anchor yourself in the present, you must engage your senses. The mindful pause: several times throughout your day, take a 30-second pause. Stop what you are doing. Take one deep breath. Look around you and notice 5 things you can see. Listen and notice 4 things you can hear. Feel 3 things your body is in contact with. This simple exercise yanks your mind out of its abstract wanderings and grounds it in the tangible reality of the present. Single tasking: in our culture of multitasking, we are often doing many things at once, but being fully present for none of them. Choose one activity a day: washing the dishes, taking a walk, having a conversation, and commit to doing only that one thing. Pay full attention to the sensations, the sounds, and the experience. This practice of deep presence is a powerful form of meditation. Ask yourself this question: am I spending more of my mental energy on what is missing from my life or on what is already present? If you find your mind constantly leaning toward lack, it is a signal to intentionally shift your focus toward gratitude. This is not about ignoring your goals, it is about balancing your ambition with a deep appreciation for the journey and for the blessings you already possess. When you combine gratitude with presence, you unlock a profound sense of peace. You let go of the relentless chase for more and find contentment in what is. You realize that while life may never be perfect, it is filled with moments of beauty, connection, and grace, if only you have the wisdom to notice them. In the end, gratitude and presence are not just practices, they are a way of life. They are the keys to letting go of dissatisfaction and finding a rich, meaningful, and deeply joyful existence right where you are. Lesson 10: Cultivating Flexibility and Adaptability. Life is, by its very nature, a force of unpredictable change. No matter how meticulously we plan, how carefully we construct our lives, the universe will inevitably present us with challenges, setbacks, and detours we did not anticipate. In these moments, our ability to adapt determines whether we break under the pressure or bend with the wind and grow stronger. Cultivating flexibility is not about abandoning our goals or lowering our standards. It is the essential Stoic art of learning to adjust our path while keeping our eyes on our ultimate destination. Many of us resist change because we crave certainty and control. We build rigid expectations for how our lives should unfold, and when reality deviates from that script, we experience frustration, anxiety, and a deep sense of helplessness. This rigidity, this refusal to adapt, is a primary source of our suffering. We cling to what was, or what we hoped would be, instead of engaging with what is. The Stoic philosophy offers a powerful alternative, the principle of amor fati, or the love of fate. This is perhaps one of the most challenging and liberating ideas in all of Stoicism. It does not mean passively resigning yourself to whatever happens. It is an active, courageous embrace of reality in its entirety. It is the practice of not just accepting, but loving everything that happens, seeing every obstacle not as a roadblock, but as a necessary part of your journey, an opportunity for growth and the practice of virtue. As Epictetus taught, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. This places the power squarely back in our hands. We cannot control the external event, but we have absolute sovereignty over our response. Flexibility begins with this fundamental shift in mindset. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" we learn to ask, "What can I learn from this? How can this challenge make me stronger, wiser, or more compassionate?" Here are some ways to cultivate this essential quality of adaptability. Reframe obstacles as opportunities. This is the core of the "obstacle is the way" mindset, famously articulated by Marcus Aurelius. When you face a setback, train your mind to immediately look for the hidden opportunity. A job loss can be an opportunity to reassess your career path and pursue something more meaningful. A painful breakup can be a chance for deep self-reflection and personal growth. A health challenge can become a catalyst for adopting a healthier lifestyle. Develop emotional resilience. Flexibility is not about suppressing your emotions. When change happens, it is natural to feel fear, disappointment, or grief. Emotional resilience is the ability to acknowledge and process these feelings without letting them take control. Allow yourself to feel what you feel, but then consciously choose a response that aligns with your values and long-term well-being. Practice the 3A's framework. When confronted with an unexpected change, use this simple but effective framework to guide your response. Accept. The first step is to accept the reality of the situation. Fighting against what has already happened is a waste of precious energy. Acknowledge the truth. This is the new reality. Assess. With a clear head, assess the new landscape. What are your current resources? What are your viable options? What is within your control, and what is not? Adapt. Based on your assessment, choose the most rational and virtuous course of action. This is where you pivot, adjust your plan, and find a new way forward. Ask yourself this question: am I clinging to a plan that no longer serves me, or am I willing to adapt and find a new path? If you find yourself resisting change, gently remind yourself that flexibility is not a sign of weakness, it is the ultimate expression of strength. It is the rigid tree that snaps in the storm, while the flexible bamboo bends and survives. Cultivating adaptability also means being open to new perspectives. Sometimes we get stuck because we are convinced that there is only one right way to do things. By being willing to learn, to listen to others, and to experiment with new approaches, we open ourselves up to a world of possibilities we might have otherwise missed. Ultimately, life is a constant dance between our intentions and the unpredictable flow of events. By cultivating flexibility and adaptability, we learn to move with grace and confidence through this dance. We let go of our rigid attachment to specific outcomes and instead embrace the journey itself, with all its twists and turns. We stop fighting against the river of life and learn to navigate its currents with wisdom, resilience, and a deep, unshakable peace of mind. Lesson 11: Fostering empathy and generosity. In a world that often seems to champion individual success and self-interest, it is easy to forget one of the most profound truths of human existence: we are deeply interconnected. The practices of empathy and generosity are not mere sentimental virtues, they are essential components of a meaningful, fulfilling life and a powerful, if paradoxical, path to letting go of our own suffering. Empathy is the ability to step outside of our own perspective and genuinely understand and share the feelings of another. It is more than sympathy, which is feeling for someone; empathy is feeling with them. It requires us to listen without judgment, to be present with another's pain or joy, and to recognize our shared humanity. Generosity is the outward expression of this empathetic connection. It is not limited to the giving of material possessions. True generosity encompasses the giving of our time, our attention, our kindness, our wisdom, and our support. It is an act that flows from a mindset of abundance, not of obligation. How do these qualities relate to the art of letting go? When we are trapped in the grip of our own worries, anxieties, and resentments, our world shrinks. Our focus becomes intensely internal, magnifying our personal problems until they feel all-consuming. Fostering empathy and practicing generosity are powerful ways to break this cycle. By shifting our focus outward, onto the needs and experiences of others, we gain a vital perspective. Our own problems, seen in the context of the wider human struggle, often lose their suffocating power. The Stoics had a beautiful concept for this, called oikeiosis. It is the idea that our sense of self naturally expands outward in concentric circles, from ourselves, to our family, to our community, to all of humanity. They believe that what is good for the whole is good for the individual. Acting with empathy and generosity is not just a service to others, it is an affirmation of our place within this interconnected whole, an act that nourishes our own soul. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "What benefits the whole, benefits the individual." When we act in ways that uplift others, we inevitably uplift ourselves. Here are some ways to intentionally foster these qualities in your daily life. Practice active listening. In your next conversation, make a conscious effort to listen with the sole purpose of understanding the other person's perspective, without planning your rebuttal or waiting for your turn to speak. Ask clarifying questions. Reflect back what you hear. Make them feel truly seen. Look for small opportunities to give. Generosity does not have to be a grand gesture. Let someone go ahead of you in line. Offer a genuine compliment to a colleague. Send a thoughtful message to a friend you haven't spoken to in a while. These small, consistent acts build a habit of generosity that reshapes your character. Practice loving-kindness meditation. This is a simple but profound meditation where you silently repeat phrases of well-wishing, first for yourself, then for a loved one, then for a neutral person, then for a difficult person, and finally for all beings. This practice directly cultivates the mental muscle of empathy and compassion. It is crucial to understand that fostering empathy does not mean abandoning your own emotional boundaries, as we discussed earlier. You can feel with someone without taking on their emotional baggage as your own. Healthy empathy involves maintaining your own center while extending compassion outward. Ask yourself this reflective question: when was the last time I acted with genuine empathy or generosity, without any expectation of receiving something in return? These moments are often the source of our deepest fulfillment. They are a reminder that a life focused solely on the self can be a lonely and impoverished one. By fostering empathy, you let go of judgment and isolation. By practicing generosity, you let go of a scarcity mindset and the anxieties of self-obsession. You discover that in the act of giving, you receive something far more valuable than anything you could accumulate for yourself: a sense of purpose, a deep connection to others, and a profound and lasting inner peace. Lesson 12: Nourishing your mind and body. In our relentless pursuit of success, happiness, and personal growth, it is dangerously easy to neglect the very vessel that carries us through life, our physical and mental being. We treat our minds and bodies like workhorses, pushing them to their limits, prioritizing external demands over their fundamental needs for rest, nourishment, and care. But a life of balance, resilience, and true fulfillment can only be built on the foundation of a healthy mind in a healthy body. Nourishing yourself is not a luxury to be earned, it is the non-negotiable prerequisite for mastering the art of letting go and living well. The Stoics understood this intimate connection. While they taught that we should not be overly attached to our physical forms, as our bodies are ultimately outside our complete control, they also recognized that a well-cared-for body is a more effective tool for the practice of virtue. A mind clouded by exhaustion or a body weakened by neglect cannot think clearly, act with discipline, or face life's challenges with resilience. As Seneca noted, a sound mind in a sound body is a short but full description of a happy state in this world. Nourishing your mind and body is a holistic practice. It is about creating a lifestyle that supports your well-being on all levels. Nourishing the body. Prioritize rest. In our hustle culture, sleep is often seen as a necessary evil, a waste of productive time. This is a profound error. Sleep is a vital biological function that restores your body, consolidates memories, and regulates your emotions. Consistently prioritizing 7 to 9 hours of quality sleep is one of the most powerful things you can do for your overall health. Move with intention. Your body was designed to move. This doesn't mean you need to engage in punishing workouts. It means finding forms of movement that you enjoy and can sustain, a brisk morning walk, a yoga practice, dancing in your living room. Regular movement not only improves your physical health but also releases endorphins, reduces stress, and boosts your mood. Fuel with whole foods. The food you eat is the fuel your body and brain run on. A diet rich in whole, unprocessed foods provides the nutrients necessary for optimal cognitive function and physical energy. This is not about restrictive dieting, it is about making conscious, consistent choices that honor your body's needs. Nourishing the mind. Cultivate stillness. Your mind needs rest just as much as your body. In a world of constant digital noise, it is essential to carve out time for silence and stillness each day. This can be through a formal meditation practice, journaling, or simply sitting quietly without any distractions. These moments of quiet allow you to process your thoughts, release mental tension, and reconnect with your inner self. Be an intentional consumer. Just as you are mindful of the food you put in your body, be mindful of the information you feed your mind. Be intentional about what you read, watch, and listen to. Choose content that inspires, educates, and uplifts you, rather than content that fuels anxiety, anger, or comparison. Engage in lifelong learning. The mind, like a muscle, thrives on being challenged. Keep it active and engaged by learning new skills, reading widely, and exploring new ideas. This not only keeps you sharp but also fosters a sense of curiosity and growth. Ask yourself this diagnostic question: am I treating my mind and body with the respect and care they deserve, or am I treating them as tools to be exploited for external achievements? If you find that you have been neglecting your own well-being, start today by committing to one small, nourishing act. It could be as simple as taking a 10-minute walk on your lunch break, reading a chapter of an inspiring book before bed, or preparing one healthy meal. Over time, these small, consistent acts of self-care compound, creating a powerful foundation of strength, clarity, and inner peace. Remember, you cannot pour from an empty cup. Taking care of yourself is not selfish, it is the most generous thing you can do for yourself and for those you care about. When you are well-rested, well-nourished, and mentally clear, you are better equipped to handle life's challenges with grace and resilience. You have the energy to show up fully in your relationships and the clarity to pursue your goals with purpose. By making your well-being a priority, you are not just living longer, you are living more deeply, more meaningfully, and with a profound sense of vitality. Conclusion: the freedom of the open hand. We have journeyed together through 12 profound lessons, each a stepping stone on the path to mastering the art of letting go. We began by understanding that true detachment is not about caring less, but about freeing ourselves from the outcomes we cannot control. We learned the power of stepping back to find clarity, the courage it takes to distance ourselves from what harms us, and the vital importance of protecting our inner peace with firm emotional boundaries. We have explored how to make intentional decisions, detox from digital noise, and prioritize the core needs that sustain us. And we have seen that through gratitude, adaptability, empathy, and the nourishment of our mind and body, we build a life of unshakable resilience. Letting go, we have discovered, is not a single, dramatic event. It is a quiet, daily practice. It is the conscious choice, made in countless small moments, to open our hand rather than clench our fist. It is the choice to release our grip on past regrets, on future anxieties, on the need for others' approval, and on the rigid expectations we place upon life. Why does this matter so profoundly? Because holding on is exhausting. It is a constant, low-grade struggle that drains our energy, clouds our judgment, and keeps us tethered to a past that no longer exists. But when we learn to let go, we discover a new way of being. We find a lightness, a freedom, and a deep sense of peace that does not depend on external circumstances. We stop being prisoners of what has happened to us and become the architects of how we choose to live now. So, I invite you to reflect on your own life. What is the one thing, if you were truly honest with yourself, that you are ready to let go of today? It does not have to be a monumental weight. Perhaps it is a small grudge, a minor frustration, an unnecessary habit, or an outdated belief about yourself. Every small release creates a ripple effect, cultivating a life that feels lighter, freer, and more authentically yours. Remember that this is a practice, not a destination. There will be days when the old habits of clinging return. Be patient and compassionate with yourself. As Marcus Aurelius reminded himself, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. The strength to begin again, to release again, and to choose freedom, moment by moment. Thank you for joining us on this deep exploration of the Stoic art of letting go. The journey to inner peace is a path we walk together. If this guide has resonated with you, help us share this timeless wisdom with others by liking this video. Your support helps our community grow. And we want to hear from you. Leave a comment below sharing the one lesson that stood out to you the most, or what you are choosing to let go of starting today. Your story could be the inspiration that someone else needs to hear. Finally, to continue your journey into Stoic philosophy and build a life of resilience, purpose, and inner peace, make sure you subscribe to the Be Audio channel and turn on notifications. We are committed to creating more deep dive content to support you on your path. Until next time, stay strong, stay intentional, and remember the profound freedom that lies in the simple, courageous act of opening your hand.